There's a new report out that indicates some of the executives at the epicenter of the Great Recession could be off the hook. Our corporate cousins at the Wall Street Journal are reporting that federal prosecutors are leaning away from charging some of the top people at American International Group, or AIG, as you probably know it. Remember what happened to AIG when investors were sinking hundreds of billions of dollars into bundles of mortgages? Many of them went to AIG to insure their investments. But when the housing market went south a couple of years ago and those managers, or those mortgages, I should say, lost value, AIG was on the hook to cover the losses. But it didn't have enough money. So the Bush administration said if AIG collapsed, the ripple effect could freeze up the entire economy. So it put tens of billions of dollars into AIG in exchange for a majority ownership of that company. The Justice Department started looking into AIG. The investigation centered on a guy named Joseph Cassano. He was in charge of the division that got AIG involved in the credit default swap game. You remember that. And now we're hearing that the prosecutors have run into a dead end. Let's bring in Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Color me something other than surprised. What's the dead end here?
Well, the dead end here is an acknowledgment by AIG's outside auditors that Mr. Cassano, in fact, informed them verbally and in writing. You know these credit default swaps, which is basically an insurance policy on the investment. We sold you an investment, we're going to sell you an insurance policy in case the investment goes south. Lose on the investment, cash in the insurance policy, get your money back. So far, nothing unlawful. The question is, if everybody lost all their investments at once, and if all the insurance policies were cashed in, would AIG have enough money to pay out on those insurance policies? If no, did they tell the investors they would not have enough money? It turns out Mr. Cassano told the right people within AIG his own fears. This is a great instrument. We can make a lot of money and we can save people from losses, but I don't know if they all came to us at once if we'd have enough money. So they ran into a brick wall. Mr. Cassano did not conceal this information. He revealed it as the law required him to do. Therefore, no case against him. The interesting part is, why is the government investigating this now? Why didn't the government investigate this before they bailed out AIG? Do you know how much money investors lost on AIG? Not a nickel, because the federal government put $185 billion with a B of our tax dollars into AIG to bail them out. Now they want to find out if the bailout was really necessary.
If they told the outside auditors, and the outside auditors didn't do the proper thing, are the outside auditors in any way culpable?
Well, the outside auditors didn't stand to gain or lose by a failure to reveal the shaky state, or I shouldn't say shaky state, I should say questions by Mr. Cassano as to whether we could pay out, AIG could pay out on all of them at once. I don't think the feds will go there. The outside auditors did a job that was acceptable by accounting standards. They were concerned with whether or not AIG committed fraud. And it's just a garden variety fraud. The failure to reveal to somebody what they would expect to know before they give you their money.
So in other words, the end game here is taxpayers foot the $185 billion bill. Nobody gets in any trouble, and investors are turned out winning.
Correct. The only losers are the taxpayers. Question, did the feds look at this before they invested $185 billion of our tax dollars in this? No, they're looking at it now, and they came up with nothing.
If I did investing like that, I'd be broke.
You would. So would anybody else, unless they owned a printing press in which they were allowed to print cash, like the feds can do.
We should get one of those.
That'd be nice to have.
Would be. You know some guys in Jersey who could accomplish that for us.
Then we'll all get in trouble.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, formerly of the New Jersey Superior Court. Sir, with respect, thank you very much.
My pleasure.